Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Pullboxpals. I'm your pal Mad, and we don't have Monk with us today, but filling in for him, we got our pal Andy Header with us. So how you doing, Andy?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to be on and talk comics.
Yeah, Andy, if you didn't know, he was one of our first guests. I think you were the second guest, or were you the first guest?
Maybe the first. I think Tony was the first. And
yeah. But Andy's one of our pals that's like a dictionary of DC and Marvel comics, so we go to him for a lot. So
a little bit.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Monk's lady had her birthday today, so he wanted to celebrate with her. So happy birthday!
Yeah, happy birthday. I never met her, but she seems like a nice girl. So
yeah. So, but yeah, so you and Monk bump into each other a lot at the shop.
Yeah, so we go to the same comic book store, Alchemist Cove in School Haven, Pennsylvania, and it's cool. Like I used to have my shop was like an hour away, and then when that closed, I started going to Alchemist Cove, which is only like a little bit more than 10 minutes, which is awesome. So like I'm down, get my comics and back in the amount of time that'd be one trip down my old shop. So I do bump into Monk occasionally, not all the time. Sometimes I work a little bit later on Wednesday. Like Wednesday is now my longest day of the week, which sucks. So it used to be my shop. It's like, oh, it's comic book day, you know? But now it's like my long. But I still get down, but sometimes he's in and out before I'm there.
Yeah. Do you have like wrestling on Wednesdays?
No. I watch AEW at night, so 8 o'clock. That's the big wrestling. But I never wrestle on Wednesday. I think like a couple of Thursday. Usually, my wrestling, independent wrestling, is Saturdays, Fridays.
Right on.
Yeah, but usually never during the week. I did wrestle at the Reading Phillies at the ballpark there one time, or actually twice, and another show's coming up. And that was a Thursday night, which was a little weird. It's like, oh, get done work and go to the stadium to wrestle.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's awesome though. And I love all of your Instagram because it's like a mix of comics and wrestling. It's the best.
Like, pictures of me doing moves and then reviews on comics and then my weekly pulls and then maybe like some other goofy pictures. But mainly that's all it is just comic books and wrestling, which is my life. So video games.
Hell yeah. Well, cool, man. Well, what did you get this week? You made it to your comic shop?
Yes, I did. And today was a big honking day here. And what was worse was I needed bags, or not bags, boards, which are always expensive, $13. So I'm like,
yeah,
dollars on top of all this stuff. So I'll start here with the start of the new Incredible Hulk.
Man.
I was reading Hulk before. I did not read Immortal Hulk, which I heard was pretty good, which was more like horror themed, and this is kind of horror themed, they said. So
yeah, I know. I think Monk was on Immortal Hulk, at least for a while. He was,
and then I read the whole Hulk run with Donny Cates, but then he fell off. I don't know what's going on with Donny Cates. He was writing Venom and Hulk, and then he just stopped. So
yeah, well, I think he ended his Venom and went to Hulk.
Yes,
and then I don't know what happened. Yeah, to what he was doing with Hulk.
And writing Thor as well, and then all of a sudden it just stopped, and I'm like, I hope he's okay. I mean, he's doing that crossover book with Image, and then I think another Image book. But anyway, I got Scarlet Witch annual. Scarlet Witch series has been really good. I think
nice.
Issue 5, but this is the annual, and she's fighting Agatha Harkness, who has that new show coming out.
Oh heck yeah!
Hellcat. This is issue 4. Hellcat has been pretty good. A little bit of supernatural stuff because she used to date Damien Hellstrom, which is Satan's son. So
yeah,
it's like her ex-boyfriend from hell, you know. Hallows Eve, which I don't know if you guys. I think, what do you?
No, think? That's one that's on my queued up on my Marvel Unlimited.
Okay.
Yeah. So and that same with Hellcat because I think you or another pal told me you need to read Hellcat.
It's good, and for a character that's maybe a C-list character at best, it's pretty good. The art's really good in it, and it's only gonna be like 5 or 6 issues, and we're all
Yeah,
here for. I got the second issue of Avengers. I think
nice.
what at that first one was pretty good. King Spawn, I do get all the Spawn books, so King Spawn there. Uh, Wonder Woman 800, the big 800th issue. Although
My shop did not have that today. I was really disappointed.
wow, there was I think 255 covers for this one, so my shop had two, and I selected this one. This is the start of the new run written by Tom King, who had a great Batman run.
Yeah, Tom King's like a legend with Batman, and he did did he do the red or no? He did Gotham City Year One as well.
I think so. I'm not sure. I know he was on Batman for like a whole year, and then he did Mr. Miracle, which was really popular, which I bought the trade, had him signed, but I never read it yet.
Yeah, I need to get on that.
Second issue of Titans, which is really good, written by Tom Taylor, who's also writing Nightwing, which has been phenomenal, which I told you about before.
I read it. I read the first volume of Nightwing based on your suggestion. I loved it, and so I'm watching for those to pop up. Because Nightwing's just, I think being an late 80s, early 90s kid, like Nightwing just rests well in my soul.
It's like really cool looking. So like, just look at him. Like, he looks cool, so therefore he must be cool. But that book is one of the best DC books. And then finishing up, I got the new Superman issue, Superman number 5.
Oh, right on.
The art in this is phenomenal. I don't know. Let me just slide it. I don't have a tape yet here. Hold on a second here. Oh, I hate when you open the comic book and it does not have like on the first page the people that did it. Okay, so the artist is Jamal Campbell, which I'm not really that familiar with, but like his art is just. See if I can find a splash page here. Like, like on Silver Banshee. Like the art is just A+ in this, and the story is pretty good. It's written by Josh Williamson, who is very good. So
right on. Jamal Campbell like rings a bell. I'm wondering why. Oh, he does Power Rangers.
He might. I know what Ryan North I think writes that or something. I forget because they had the Power Rangers Turtles crossover.
Yeah, that was a great crossover. Did you do the second one as well?
Yeah, I read the second one. I didn't read the first one yet. I only read the second one, but the second one was very good.
The second one was awesome. The first one's on, at least it was when I read it was on Comixology. So you might be able to get it in there. Oh man, like this, yeah. Campbell has a lot of credits. I'm not gonna get into it.
Yeah, but his own Campbell, look, it's really good. And the Superman, it's only at issue 5, so if you're looking to jump on, it's still kind of easy to get those issues. I mean, there's the first appearance of Marilyn Moonlight, new character, Moonlight. She's a cameo in issue 1, then issue 2 is her first full appearance, but it's not that price.
Yeah, well, that's cool.
But
right on, man.
You pick up today.
Well, yeah, I got a bit of a haul today, not as much as you, and yeah, I got All 8 Eyes number 3. I've really been enjoying this one. It's basically like I think it takes place in New York, and there's just like giant spiders all around, but like politicians and the law enforcement just completely ignore it. And it essentially goes after the people you think it would because they come out at night, so it's getting all like the homeless people and like the junkies and whatnot. And so
I did look at the first issue. The art looked pretty good in that.
Yeah, I've been enjoying it. The art is, I don't know if there's, I haven't looked through this one yet, but here's a good splash page right in the middle.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, wow, that's awesome. Now, is that post-apocalyptic or is it like modern day, I guess you'd say?
I think it's supposed to be modern. It might actually even be set like a little in the past. But yeah, it's been really fun. I've been enjoying that one. Then Chicken Devils number 4 came out today, which this run has been really hard to keep up with because of everything Aftershocks going through, and like it's like 3 months in between releases. It seems like
stop a story dead.
Yeah. And then what else? Oh, I got Hunt Kill Repeat number 4 as well. This one's been really fun. So this is out by Mad Cave, and it's a take on like if the the pantheon of Zeus, like they decided that they were upset with humanity, and so they came down and were like, yep, we're gonna take over. And so they like based themselves in New York. I think they renamed New York City to Olympus. and one of Zeus's daughters is like not cool with it, and she's kind of like Kill Bill styling it.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's been really fun, but she's been fighting all of her siblings who are still loyal to their dad, and she has like this like horde of rebels that are helping her out. So it's
that's that kind of reminds me of, I've never heard of Wicked and Divine, or The Wicked and the Divine. It was an image book.
ah oh yeah.
Yeah, it was all
I
about like they became like modern like high and stuff. It was pretty good. I only read like the first trade and then kind of lost me, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah, no, I haven't read that. I've seen it in passing. But maybe I'll pick that up. Then I picked up a trade today. I got I Hate
Oh,
Fairyland Volume 5.
wow.
Yes. So I checked out all the other volumes out of my library, and I didn't want to wait for my library to get this one, so I went ahead and got it.
I have read all of them, and that is a fantastic book. It's so
It
funny.
is it is just like action packed, it's comical, and like Scotty Young just he just kills it with
Oh yeah,
he cartoons the whole thing, doesn't he?
yeah. He and especially I know there's a newer run that he only writes, but like those early, like I think well early, like 1 through 25, he writes and draws the whole thing. So like his
Yeah.
humor, and then because it's him writing, he can get the characters to look the way he wants. So Gert is a
Yeah.
great character. Like, and the whole premise is cool too.
Yeah. And then let's see, I got Tenement. So this is part of the Bone Orchard mythos. This is a Jeff Lemire. Uh
Oh,
so this is
okay.
number 1. Um I'm like kind of worried about it because like I got so there was a free comic book day 2 years ago where they released like the initial Bone Orchard mythos like story,
Hmm.
and that has still been my favorite one so
Oh,
far. And then like the Passageway came out, and the Passageway was really cool. It was like kind of dark and gritty, like Gideon Falls.
mhm.
And then he had what was it, 10,000 Black Feathers, and it was a 5 issue arc. And like once that story was done, I was just like, I would have probably rather have picked this up in the trade and just read it all the way through.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know how Jeff just likes to build tension so that you keep wondering where it's going next. And so I'm excited to get into it, but I am worried because I'm looking for that thing to be better than the first one. So
Yeah, and you start up here, and now you're just kind of going down. It's like, oh, I
yeah.
just, the only thing I've really read by him is the Hawkeye trade, and I think I believe he
Yeah.
introduced Kate Bishop, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then here it is. I don't know which one came first, but he was on Hawkeye, and they went to Green Arrow, or vice versa. I'm like, that's pretty sweet.
And he also did Animal Man.
Yeah, he did. I didn't read that, but I heard that was like fantastic, like the New 52 one. I think it is.
I believe so. And Eric from the guy who's writing, or one of the guys writing Outer Space comic,
Mm-hmm.
he's the one who told me about that. And so Jeff did, because his Green Arrow was New 52, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and
and so and then he did Animal Man, so he did two New 52s.
oh wow, yeah, I
Um,
was either at the time. I did go back and read. Green Arrow is good, but I'm not a real big fan of the art on that. But
yeah,
the great.
yeah. I don't think I finished the Green Arrow run because of the art kind of just got really bland for me.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like nothing against it, it's just that it's not for me.
Yeah. And then I picked up Ultimate Invasion #1. I got this rad variant with Miles on the cover.
That is a sweet, sweet cover with the mirror
Yeah.
behind Miles Morales, and it reminds me of the '90s. Everything was all embossed
Yeah.
covers.
Yeah, exactly. And then lastly, I picked up this on a whim. It's called Wild's End. It's out by Boom Studio.
I did. I think I seen that because there was also another book that looked like it was like Conan, but with like a female protagonist, and I was like, But I was like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I didn't pick the answer.
And I think that I might have a variant cover for it. So I'm not sure if this is the actual cover or what other covers there are for it. It was just the only one sitting in my shop, and I was like, it's Boom. Boom's always a good time.
Oh yeah, I got a lot. My favorite Boom book is it might even be Boom Box, which is like one more aimed for kids. Is Lumberjanes. I don't know if you ever heard about that.
Yeah, no, I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
really good. It's Girl Scouts. Well, they're in a campground. They're kind of Girl Scouts camp, and then they do something normal, and then something crazy like supernatural happens.
yeah.
So it would make a
Yeah.
great cartoon. But I think it was licensed, but then it just never went anywhere.
Yeah. Well, and like a few weeks ago I like looked into like the history of Boom, and like so much of it makes sense because the guy who founded it, he used to be uh like the guy who would screen actors, I think, for
Really?
like comic book movies.
Oh
And
wow.
and then I think I mean it's something along those lines. It was something with him and like a connection to finding the right people for comic book movies. And then he just got tired of the business and started a comic book company. And like almost everything Boom puts out to me has like a very cinematic feel to it.
Yeah. And they,
um and and so like yeah, it kind of, you can kind of see that through the founder. I don't remember his name, but
I don't, I didn't know that at all. I know they have like a wide range of stuff, like just like adult stuff, like uh what's his name? Cullen Bunn writes a horror book. It's one word or it's the something that's on Boom, but then also like Lumberjanes on Boom. I don't know if you read Jonesy, which that's like a kiddie book that was pretty good. And I believe Boom did regular show and Adventure Time too. I think comics of them. So yeah, they're
I think you're right on that. Yeah. But yeah, Boom. I love Boom. There's just so many good like indies out there now. It's hard to
there
get
is
them all.
like I really when Aftershock started, it was they had a lot of good titles, and they kind of like faltered, and now like they were doing like 1 to 2 a month, and now it's I don't know like what they're doing, but I liked Aftershock, and then Behemoth slash Sumerian, whatever.
Yeah.
They're pretty good.
Yeah, Monk's a big fan of the Behemoth Sumerian comics. I only have like one full run of something from them, and it was during that transition. So like the first 3 issues of it are Behemoth, and then the last 2 I have are Sumerian.
Yeah, you're like
Um, the
Sumerian.
Illusion Witch. Yeah,
You I picked those up at that sale that my shop had.
yeah,
The a fill short box for $30, which is a great deal. And I read them, and it's not a bad story. I'm glad I didn't pay $4.99 per issue. I'm glad I paid like 10 cents an issue. But
yeah,
if you can get them cheap, it's not a bad run.
yeah. No, that's yeah, that's kind of how I felt about it. Like I really enjoyed the story. The art was a little I don't know, too it didn't, it just didn't fit the tone of the story as much as I would have liked it to.
I felt maybe the art was a little too lighthearted, whereas the story was a little bit heavier.
Yeah, that exactly exactly that.
So it's kind of like jarring, like oh, was her like dead, her son or yeah, she left her husband because her son died, something like that, and it's like all cartoony art. It's like it's good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So like the art was a little too playful for the tone of the story,
yeah,
but yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I'm glad that you picked it up, and that yeah, you got it for less than
oh
$4.99.
yeah,
That
dirt
was
cheap.
such a good deal.
I know.
Dude,
I wasn't gonna do it, and then me and Monk were actually in the room. He had his box like halfway full, and I just started pulling stuff. And I was like, "Well, let's see if I pull a bunch, then I'll do it." And he's like, "Just do it. Just get them." And I was pulling. I was like, "Well, I have a stack this big, might as well." So you can't. Your shop or any shop you're local to has fill a short box for like $30, even 40, even 50 would still be a deal.
oh yeah, no, that's a huge steal. I calculated out Monk's haul from that day, and I think he paid 22 cents per comic he got.
Awesome. And just think, you
Yeah,
can story for less than $1.
yeah, that's so awesome. Well, yeah, man. Well, you want to get into some Green Lantern?
Sure. One of my favorites here. I got it right here. Now, were you able to get issues 1 and 2?
Yeah, so I got them digitally, so I won't be able to show mine, but they're obviously just the main cover because they're
Yeah.
digital. But
I
yeah,
think
so I read both of them over the week.
but I just get the main cover. Oh, that's cool. I really like this run. Before this, there was a run. I forget the guy's name that was doing it, but I wasn't really into it. And then before that, Grant Morrison did like 3 years of Green Lantern. But I just sometimes Grant Morrison's writing, I say it's too smart for me. Not that I'm a dum dum or anything. It's just I don't get it. And I
Yeah,
tried that Green Lantern with Grant Morrison's run. I read the issue like 3 times. Like this doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, okay. Then they were doing at that time. They'd do like a season. And then after 12 issues, it was like season 2 of Green Lantern. I tried again, and I did not like it. And then they had an offshoot called Black Stars, and I did not like that. So I was like, I'll let that go. Hopefully someone will come over. And then that new Green Lantern book that was like based about a girl, like a young girl.
I'm
I
not
forget.
familiar with that.
that was like the previous one, like right before this one. And so that's why I'm kind of lost as to like why Jon Stewart is like lost like on Earth and stuff, because I didn't
Yeah.
really that run, but it wasn't really um, catching me. But this one is like it feels more in tune. I mean, it's centered around Hal Jordan. It feels more like the old Green Lantern books, like when Jeff Johns was writing, or even before that, like in the '90s. Like it's centered on Hal and how like being kind of I don't know what would you call like he's not uh like I'm not untrustworthy, but I guess a slacker a little bit, but not a slacker.
Yeah. Uh, so sorry, we're talking about Hal,
Yeah, yeah,
or yeah. So Hal's just like, I don't know. He's got a little bit of like the Barry Allen attitude, but with a little more like suave.
yeah.
Or
He's like
like,
suave, carefree guy, but also like a slacker. like, and
yeah,
he's clumsy too, and he like, doesn't like even know like what he's doing. Like a lot of times in the old books, like in the '70s, he would fall a lot. like one was like Green Lantern gets defeated by a newspaper because he like paper and he falls steps. Like, Al, use your ring. But
yeah,
I've
yeah.
enjoyed it so far. And what are you thinking? I'm assuming probably your first time reading Green Lantern.
No, so the last time I was pulling a Green Lantern was during the New 52, and I pulled the New Guardians.
Okay.
And I think I have that complete series. I think it only got to like 32 or 34 issues, something like that.
Yeah.
Um, and like I really enjoyed that. And that was, I believe that was Kyle Rayner as the Green
Yeah.
Lantern.
And then one of like every other core, like
Yeah.
was
So then he starts getting like rings from all the other cores, and becomes like a White Lantern.
yeah.
And like it was cool, but like it also felt very, I don't know, like Power Rangery to me.
With the multiple
Wait,
color kind of team.
yeah.
I think that guy might have actually went on to write Power Rangers then. I believe it was
Oh,
Higgins. I could be
yeah.
wrong.
I can't remember who wrote it.
Yeah,
It's been so long. I have them all over here in a box next to me. I'm sure I could look, but that would require me going off camera and digging,
yeah.
and I don't want to do that.
It's not that. That's when there was a main Green Lantern book. There was Green Lantern New Guardians. There was Red Lanterns, and there was Green Lantern Corps, all running at the same time. That's how popular
Yeah,
Green.
it was a lot. And I remember asking the comic book shop guy, I was just like, I want to get a Green Lantern out of all these new 52s. He's like, and he suggested I do the new lanterns. And I think I picked up on issue 3 and back ordered the first two. But yeah, I mean, like I enjoyed it overall. I obviously got the whole series, but it just also, I don't know, it was very fitting to how most people feel about the new 52, of just
Yeah,
like it just came up a little short. Like I, I don't really know how else to like put it other than like they over marketed and undersold.
yeah, kind of. I mean, and then like some stuff is like, oh, it's all new, but then some stuff is like, yeah, kind of the same. Like Batman really didn't change, but like the Metal Man totally changed. So like the New 52, like hit and miss, I would say at the same time. Like some
Yeah.
stuff was really good and some was kind of
Yeah, and like a while ago I went back and looked at like where a lot of those sit in value, and like really the only new 52 series that has gained any value is the Batman run.
yeah. I was gonna say Batman, maybe like a death or something here or there, or a first appearance of some random character. Better than that, yeah. Like I have a lot because I was reading like Flash, Wonder Woman, a lot of the side books at the time, and there was good and bad. I mean, my favorite probably was the Superman Wonder Woman book written by Charles Soule, and then he left.
Yeah, yeah.
That was like 25 issues. That was really good. And that was probably my favorite. And then Justice League was good, but then it fell off. Like that's the problem with New 52. A lot was really good. Then the creative team changed, and I was like, eh.
Yeah. It's always a bummer when that happens.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, this new Green Lantern, I really like it. I know like they're just starting to kick off the Dawn of the DC.
Yes.
And I guess I'm not really understanding, is this them like doing a new 52 thing again, or is this just like here they are presently? Because like I mean, again, like Hal Jordan in this, like you feel like you're reading Hal Jordan of the past,
Yes.
but like he's now in present day. And I guess it's like, there's that one part, is it in issue 1 where he's like flying for Carol? but he's not actually flying an actual ship. He's flying a remote ship.
Yeah,
And
her and her boyfriend.
yeah. But like that, all those panels were just like great because it's just like, again, this is Hal being Hal. Like he's got that suave and he's like, I'm the old timer here. I know what I'm doing, and tries to show off for these younger pilots that he's supposed to be like following and tailing, but he's just, doing his thing of showing off and showboating and ends up destroying $1 million drone jet.
Carol doesn't hire him. That was cool. And then I like in issue 2 when he is flying. Well, first he gets the job in the mailroom at Ferris Air.
Yeah.
Works his way up to being Carol's personal pilot.
Yeah.
That was a cool panel. I want to say scene, but whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like I've liked it so far. I hate that we have to wait now till September for issue 3.
Yeah, the whole Night Terrors thing kind of puts a wedge in. That's the only thing with event books. Not to go to time, but like every story's going, but then event happens, so then whatever book you're reading has to wait 2 months to continue.
Yeah, so it's a bummer we got to wait for that, but yeah, I'm probably going to try and keep up with this. I may even try and get the single issues of 1 and 2 just to keep that collection going. But yeah,
Cool.
I've really been digging it. And then also, yeah, with like John's story felt really like lacking, like to me in the first issue. Like I think he only got like 2 or 3 pages of a story.
Much, and then I don't know why John Stewart is on Earth, and it seems like he gave up the Green Lantern and he doesn't have his ring or something. Because I didn't read the previous run. Excuse me, I don't know what's going on there, so I feel a little lost with John Stewart. And then
Yeah,
2, like they're kind of hinting like he has visions of the past or the whatever's happening right now out in space. So
yeah.
I'm a little. It's not bad, but I don't know what's going on. Then they introduced this lantern that I have no idea in issue 2. I'm trying to.
Oh, like the new kid.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, no, like, and that was another thing too for me, is just like, as the last thing I read of Green Lantern was New Guardians, and that was nearly a decade ago.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty lost in the world of Green Lantern, but I'm interested in like catching up. So like anybody who's listening, please like comment and let us know how really Hal and John both got to being back on Earth. Like that's just something. I understand there was like a takeover by somebody else for the Lantern Corps, and like there was like some sort of battle, and that John and Hal seemingly both walked away from it. But I don't know, like I don't know the whole story of like why.
Now that they're quarantined on Earth, like when Hal's flying up, and then like he all of a sudden his ring goes out of power and he starts falling back down because he can't leave Earth. And I was like, I don't know why. Like, and then is all the other Lanterns? Is Jessica Cruz here? Is Guy Gardner here? They kind of reference him, but they don't say his name in issue 2 and the John Stewart part. And then, like, where's Kyle Rayner? And where is Simon Baz, the guy that had a gun for some stupid reason? But, it's like, you have the most powerful weapon in the universe. So I also need a gun. So there's a lot going on, but it is pretty good. And it's written by who is the Jeremy Adams is the writer, and the art in this Zermanico. I don't know.
I think that's right.
Like I'll try and like get a panel here to hold up of how like flying. Like right here is a cool splash page of like.
Yeah. No, the art is really, really drawing, and that's another thing I really appreciate about it, is like the characterization, like just the way that like Hal's face is drawn in a certain moments, just absolute perfection.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's always got that kind of cocky smile on his face, and like they just carried that well throughout. But even so, I'm looking here at like a review, and they got the first couple pages when Hal first shows up in issue 1, and he's saving those like construction workers that are trapped.
Yeah.
And yeah, even the detail on them is just, it's so good. And the coloring, like showing the lantern glow.
Yeah, I like when he glows, and like whenever his powers come out, and like they're like it's a glow, but then the glow is glowing kind of, and like all the constructs are really cool looking. So I'm liking this so far. I'm happy because it's like right here I have my Green Lantern. Oh, anytime there's a good Green Lantern book, I've been jonesing for one for a while because I went like 3 years there without one. So I'm sticking. And all so far, all these new Dawn of DC books have been pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. And I kind of want to hop onto more, but I also need to like save my pocket. So
Yeah, that's the only thing.
I might do the DC Infinite subscription.
Yeah, I don't know how current they are because I never used it, but I hear you there. Like, there's so many comics and you can't read them all. That's like I had a pile today. I'm like, I want to try that one indie, and then I seen a cool Archie horror one today about all the kids at a camp. I forget the name, camp something, and I was like, that looks cool, but and then there was another black and white one that had awesome art. I forget what it's called, an indie book, but it was like $8. I'm like, I already have enough.
It's crazy to me. So you said that was Archie, right?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
camps. I don't know if you've seen it.
But yeah, like Archie Comics they're kind of making a comeback in recent years. I mean,
Like
they've been around, but I mean, like they used to be like the king of comics back in like the golden era. They're like, at least they were like way more well known and way more read.
Yeah.
But like it kind of was like died off. But yeah, like Archie comics are super cool. They're super fun, and like a lot of them, again, if like you're a collector, a lot of them just hold really good value.
Yeah, and then especially when they introduced the Archie horror line, like that was 10 years ago already. It was such a departure from like the Archie for the kids, and then here's like Sabrina and like her aunts are killing people in their basement. It's like, whoa, this is crazy. And then well, obviously the undead one with like Jughead the Hunger, and then Vampironica.
Yeah.
Like
I need to get on some of those. I read like I don't know if it was the first one they released as the horror series, but it was like took place in like the diner that they all hang out at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read that one. I can't remember what it was called though, but
yeah, with Archie, that was the first one. I think that was like 12 issues. That's kind of like sets up the world that's like undead and everything. Then there was Vampironica. Then there was like Blossom 666, where the redheads are like children of the devil, and Chilling Sabrina, that's really good. It's like it didn't cross over first, but then did. But the Archie horror books are great. And then the Archie Mark Waid wrote an Archie run that was fantastic. And it's like imagine a modern day kind of like the Riverdale show, but not as CW as that.
Yeah.
Just a modern telling. The Mark Waid Archie run is really good.
Huh. I have to check that out as well. Well, yeah. So I guess we concur. We both like Green Lantern. Gonna try and keep up with it. And yeah, I'm always trying to find like a good DC and Marvel run that I want to stick with. Because I mean, like with Marvel, I mostly stick with a lot of the Star Wars stuff they put out. But I mean, even then, I think I'm only getting like the High Republic at the moment. I'm not even getting anything of like the main line. But yeah, like I don't have any like series that I've been like, oh, I really like issue 1. I want to keep like reading this as they come out, and I've pushed them all to Marvel Unlimited. So
yeah, that's a problem with like any comic. Like if it doesn't hook you, like if it's not a book that when you're done with it, you're like, oh, I just can't wait to read issue 2 or 3 or whatever. Then it's like, you lose track of it. But there's some Marvel books I was really digging Captain Marvel, and the last issue just came out, like issue 50.
Yeah. Oh dang. So
that's pretty long for a Marvel book currently to be issued like 50 issues.
Yeah.
Now they're doing miniseries or something.
Huh. Yeah. Well, yeah, we both read, and I know Monk read this as well, so he'll probably chime in later down the road. But we got into Scout Comics, Death Drop Drag Assassin.
Yes, the little Scout. And we did suggest another one, but apparently that didn't come out, so you'll have to let's check that out. And what was the name of that one even?
I
forget.
I kind of forget because Monk got another one that I wanted to check out. Like, and you guys both told me the same day.
and they go together. I do.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll talk about Death Drop Drag Assassin. So my shop, he does this cool thing where the day before Wednesday, like Tuesday afternoon, he'll post all the new releases on his Facebook page, and he posts about it in a picture. And then if you want it, you just say, "Hey, pull this for me, please." So me and Monk do that. And I seen this because I had no idea this was coming out. I was like, "A drag queen assassin? Sign me up."
Yeah. Yeah. So what did you think of it overall?
When I read it, the art is a little cartoony, kind of like Illusion Witch. It almost looks almost exactly the same, but this doesn't have so much of a heavy vibe. Like I'll just kind of bring up some right here. I don't know how that's coming across there,
Oh,
but
no, it looks good.
the art it's good, but it is a bit cartoony, and the story, like, I wasn't sold at first, but by the time I got to the end of it, I was like, okay, I'll see where this goes. And plus, it's like 6 issues, probably, maybe even 5, maybe even 4. But
Yeah.
it does set up the villain at the end with the person who takes the pill, and then the whole thing, like, of someone's going around a gay town, as they call it.
Yeah. No, the gayborhood.
Yeah, yeah, called, yeah, there goes the neighborhood. So someone's killing people and then removing their eyes, like, because they show the one kid that's dead, he has no eyes. So I was like, that's crazy. And then our hero Death, which I don't believe they say Death's real name at all.
No, I don't think they do. I don't recall them saying.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
him and
just
the
know
other
it.
dragon seem to have had a relationship before, because they kind of hint at it and make jokes about it. But I don't think they say his name at all. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And then it's like, is he gonna help the neighborhood or is he not? And then by the end, he's like, yeah, I still have my gun and a bunch of stuff on the floor. And it seems like I thought it was just gonna be like a normal assassin spy action, but it seems like it might be a little bit of supernatural thing going on here too.
Yeah, that's what I've read. I don't like recall seeing a whole lot of like supernatural in this issue, but it is advertised as supernatural, and or it's advertised as a supernatural noir.
Okay.
And so it does like carry like that noir vibe of like, here's this main character who has a rough past that we don't know anything about, and I'm sure details are going to unfold. And yeah, like in this issue, it kind of alludes to it towards the end of like his mentor or whatever training him.
Yeah.
um
Back.
but yeah, like I don't recall seeing anything supernatural in this issues, but it was enough for me to want to like continue with the story, because I do like the premise, and I also do just like anything that is supportive of like the LGBTQ community right now. Just because like, everybody's heard me say this before, but like the thing that's always resonated with me most about comics is like what Stan Lee said about Marvel and it being the world outside your window. And so it's just another opportunity for like me, as I'm a cis white male and I grew up in a very conservative part of the world. It's like it's a lot of like news to me, and like I appreciate those like aspects of this series. Same with is it The Neighbors? Have you read that? I think that's out by Boom as well.
The one with the well, that wasn't the one where it rains and it's like spikes that go into him, was it?
No, so this is about like a queer family that like there's a mom and a daughter, and then the stepdad is a transitioned guy,
Oh, I remember.
and but like they move into this new neighborhood, and like they all immediately are like kind of aware there's something fishy about the neighborhood, and it seems like there's kind of like an upside down world that is
Okay.
creeping up and taking over like the real people world. But like it's also just like it's a story about like finding your identity and being happy with like the person you are and like putting it on like display, but it's also showing like this is what people have to go through.
Yeah.
And
In this, like when the one guy's being beat up, I'm thinking he's getting beat up just because he's gay, and then like that's terrible. Like, and like a lot
yeah,
of people know what gay people. If you're not gay, you don't know what they go through, and this kind of touches on that. And the main hero, Death is obviously a gay man, a drag queen, but he's our hero, and he's not
yeah,
portrayed a pervert or anything like that. It's like, oh, he's just a drag queen and he kicks ass. So it's like
yeah.
one of my favorite lines I want to read it because it's like right in the beginning. He's like, "So which one of you wants to be the first to tell their girlfriend that they got beat up by a man in a dress?"
Yeah. No, that's a line that's always going to stand out about this series too. Is just like that's kind of, you can see like that's what he wants to do, and then his ex, who's the mother queen or whatever, I can't remember what she called herself, but just saying like you can't just like beat everybody up because like you feel like it or something
Yeah,
along those lines. And he's like, what was I supposed to do, just like let this kid get beat up?
yeah,
Like yeah, so he's got a little chip on his shoulder. And I don't know, I'm excited to see where this series
yeah.
goes. And we have
But
Travis Gibb here saying that he loves us. We love you too, Travis.
I don't know you, Travis, but I love you too, and thanks for watching. But yeah, I'm gonna. It's probably. I'm gonna say 5 to 6 issues. Most Scout comics are.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's probably going to be 5. I'm sure we could look that up, but
Yeah.
oh, actually, I have it right here in front of me, so I can. Oh no, Secret Source doesn't actually have when the next issue comes out, so never mind.
Oh well, the writer is David Hazen. I'm not familiar with him, and the artist is Alex Moore. So I'm not familiar with either of the two, but I did enjoy it, and I like the premise right off the bat, and it kind of sets up the villain, and then you're kind of like, how did that kid get murdered and his eyes are like just totally gone? Not like ripped out, just like he doesn't have eyes.
Yeah.
So like, is there people without eyes? Were his eyes removed? What's going on? And then can't wait to see Death Drop kick ass. Cause like right in the beginning, it's like, I'm Death Drop, kick bitch. You know?
And Travis said he thinks that it's 4, and Travis also said it's the creator of Nottingham.
Oh, Nottingham. I did see that book. I didn't read it. I believe that's like a.
Is that like a Robin Hood type thing?
Yeah, but I think it's like serious. I think it focuses on the sheriff of Nottingham, if I'm correct. I did hear good things about that, but I did not read it.
Yeah, and that's from Mad Cave, and I don't know. Mad Cave's fairly new to me. I know they've been around for a while, but like the first thing I picked up from them is the Hunt, Kill, Repeat, which I just got issue 4 of. So I'd be interested in getting a little more Mad Cave.
Yeah, I always like to check out new companies because you never know, and a lot of times the indie books can be really good. Like a lot of people just walk in and they think comics are all Marvel or DC, but there's tons of other stuff out there, and there's like really good stuff out there. Did you see that one book? It looked, not to do side tangent, but it was black, white, and blue art, kind of like Blue Book, but it wasn't Blue Book. I think it was called like The Suffering or something. It came out last week. I almost picked it up. I think maybe one of you guys might have got it.
The Suffering.
It was like one word, but all the art inside was black, white, and blue. And I believe the writer of that book is the one who followed me on Instagram. It's terrible that I don't know his name. Like shame, but I was going to buy it, and I forgot this week I had a big pull list, but like I kind of want to get that book because it's just really interesting.
Do you know who put it out?
I'm gonna try to find it here. It was it was an indie book. I know that doesn't really help. Let me see. I think Monk actually picked it up as I try to go to his Instagram here.
He may have.
Sudden Death. That's the name of it.
Sudden Death?
Yes, Sudden Death.
I'm trying to find it on here.
And he didn't. Let me see here. It's probably, it might even be Scout as we search here. Thrilling audio here. Sudden Death. I'm gonna type in comic. Geez, nothing's coming up here. I know. I will go to my.
Oh yeah, that came out from Scout.
Oh, is that Scout? Yeah, that looks really good.
That looks really cool. Like just based off the cover I'm looking at for it.
Yeah. So the interior art was a lot like Blue Book, but more pulpy, old timey comics, but like classic comic, like not. I don't know how to describe it. More like 70s comics, kind of.
Okay, yeah.
Really cool. So
I'll have to look out for a preview for that.
Yeah.
So cool, man. Yeah. What did you get into this week that we haven't talked about?
I wanted to. What do I have here? Another pickup in that Phila short box for $30, and one that Monk will absolutely love. Look what I read.
Oh yeah, Monk will love you for that.
The only problem with I read that Texas Blood. I got issues 1 through 6, but I was missing issue 2, so I kind of had to fill the blanks on like a guy dies right at the end of 1, and then like I'm starting issue 3. I'm like, okay, now we're at this guy. But it was really good. I don't know how to describe it, like a crime murder mystery kind of in Texas, but
yeah,
and especially for 20 cents a book, can't beat it.
You can't beat it. Yeah, no, I read volume 1. I think that was available on. No, I bought it on Comixology. And yeah, like I'll probably eventually I'll get volume 2 and read it, but no, like I can see why Monk loves that series so much.
Like I was reading it, I'm like, okay, the art, I'm kind of into it, and I was reading it as I kept going. I'm like, all right, the sheriff. I'm like, you know what? I am into this. I like it. Too bad I had to kind of fill in the blanks of issue 2, not having issue 2, but still, it's good. I know it went past 5 or 6 issues this month. I think it's 6.
Yeah,
but It was very good. So I'm sure he'll love to hear that I read that piece.
Yeah, that let me see. I'm gonna check this out here. So there's three. The third volume came out in January, and there's 20 issues.
Okay. And a lot of times with the image trades, the good thing is the first trade is usually at a discount price, like it's $10, sometimes 12, whereas normal ones like $15.99. So like it's a good introductory thing. Like, hey, this trade 5 issues for $10. Why not?
Yeah. And like so I got the digital volume one, and so like there's that discount by image, but then I also had like some digital comicsology
Oh,
points that I got to use towards it. So I think I only spent like maybe $4 or $5 on the digital.
not bad at all. Can't
Yeah.
be. You get a full story for less than $10 or less than $5.
Heck yeah. That's the world I want to live in.
Yeah. When I look at old books, when it says like $1 or 75-cent price tag, could you imagine if you went in the shop like how we went today and everything was 75 cents or $1? You'd lose your mind.
I would lose it.
Yeah.
I'd spend all, because I give myself $35 a week for comics. I would spend, if it was $1 a comic, I'd spend all $35 on those.
You would get everything. You'd be like, what do you get? I get everything because why not? Like,
Yeah.
imagine, like when I was a kid going into shops, like when I was getting into it was right when they were like $1.25, $1.50. Like, and that, like, now that sounds awesome, but like, I couldn't imagine dollar books. Like, that's awesome.
I know. And I always think too, it's just like, and it's not the same though in the past when you think back to when they were like 10, 15 cent, 20-cent covers, but it's still like the same value.
Yeah.
But I always think how nice that must have been to just throw 15 cents on the counter.
Yeah. Order and you get change back to go buy candy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Those were the days that I didn't get to live in.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, another thing I got into this week, and I got back into the nasty. So this is number 3.
okay.
And Monk got a different cover. I think he got the main cover and I got the variant. But this has been a really fun series. I don't know. Have you heard anything about it or read any of it?
You guys talk about it, but is that what company is that by?
Vault puts it out.
Okay.
But yeah, so the premise of it is it takes place in like the 80s, I think, London, or like just UK in general, when they're going after all the video nasties, and there's like protests outside of video rental stores. And the main kid, who his nickname is Thumper, he doesn't have any friends as a kid. His dad passed away and his mom's an alcoholic. And so he essentially takes care of his mom, and he finds community through horror films, like going to the video store. But he watches, I don't remember. I think it was called like Judgment Day or something like that. And it's his like first horror film that he like watched by himself, and he like loved it. And he creates an imaginary friend that ends up being the antagonist killer of that movie. And throughout the series, like up until now at least, but like in the first 2 issues, it's like he's slowly starting to break through the fourth wall. And so there's like a scene of them like getting ice cream, and he's the only person who can see his imaginary friend, obviously, but he's also eating an ice cream cone with them. But like, yeah, so like at the end of issue 1 though, that's when I forget what his name. I'm just gonna call him Red. But like he like somebody does something to Thumper, like almost hits him with like a bike or with a car or something, and Red like picks up a trash can or something and throws it, and Thumper's just like, "What? You've never done something like that before," and like that's kind of where issue 1 ends.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
But also like him and his friends, they got their hands on a copy of like the most nasty video, like no, not like anybody who's seen it has never been heard of. And so they go to watch it, and the VCR eats the tape, but Thumper takes it home and like repairs it, and then I guess he watches it, and that was like the transition of his imaginary friend starting to become more like corporeal.
Oh
and,
wow.
and now him and his friends are on this journey to like they're gonna make the scariest movie ever. And so like that's their plan, but at the same time there's all this stuff going on with Red of like, he seems playful and everything with like Thumper, but he can, when if he's on film, he can be seen on the film, and so he's being used as like the killer in the film that they're making.
Yeah,
um
that's pretty creative.
yeah, no, it's been a really fun series so far. The art's like very fitting, like it does have like a cartoon aspect to it, but like it's fitting to this story because it is about like there's a couple stories going on in it, and that it's like about this kid and his friends trying to make this movie, but at the same time it's about this kid and his imaginary friend, and that's where like all the mysteries at in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then like there's the antagonist of like this lady who's going around from town to town, like, bashing on all the nasty videos, and she got a hold of a certain horror film as well at the end of this issue, I think. And but she's just like, because she got this video store shut down, and the cops like, maybe you should actually try watching this film that you got this shop shut down for. And but she's starting to be painted as like this antagonist for like the real world, but then like what's going on with like the mystical world, the world of imaginary friends, it seems like there's still being more painted there. So I'm pretty excited about like what's coming down the road for this one, and I think overall it's going to be a great series.
Yeah, it sounds very creative, and it's not like by the numbers. It sounds like it's a little out there, but still you can follow it. Like, I don't know, it sounds pretty good. I'll have to check it out if I'm not waiting for a trade. Single issues.
Yeah, no, and like I don't know. That's another thing too, is just if you can't buy all the indies, or if you can't buy all of the main ones of DC and Marvel, it's like it's never a bad idea just to wait for those trades to come out.
No, I mean, and then you get the whole story. You don't have to wait. It's all right there.
You just got to wait some time for that trade.
Yeah,
But it
fast, but some of the smaller companies takes a while. But still, you get the trade. You read it all in one shot. Like a lot of times when the story is really good, I'll read it all in one shot.
Yeah, no, like I think the last 5 trades I picked up, I've read all like just in one sitting because I couldn't take it. But like, like I remember usually when I pick up like Marvel and DC trades, though, like I'm fine like just reading one issue and setting it down. But like a lot of the indie ones I've picked up lately just sucked me right in.
Yeah, and a lot of times the indie ones kind of feel like one movie, whereas the Marvel ones are like episodes. So it's like, here's the
Yeah.
clear ending of this issue, but it's like I just read Once in Future, one of the trades I gave to Monk, because I have a big hardcover of it. But I read that first trade, I was like, this is really good, but like it felt like I was watching a movie, but like on comic book form.
Yeah. You get anything else this week?
I did. Let me see for this week. What I'm looking for, like the Hulk. I didn't get. What else did I get? Titans, Wonder Woman, Avengers. Avengers was written by Jason Aaron, and Jason Aaron is a great writer, but that run just, I don't know. It was just, I wasn't into it. So his new run, I'm kind of into. So I'm hoping that this new Avengers run is good, because I always find it weird, like how can Avengers and Justice League, like with all the characters, just be okay? Like, shouldn't those be the best book Marvel and DC?
Yeah, one thing I know about Jason Aaron, when he's given the reins to a DC or a Marvel character, he takes absolute liberty on that character.
Oh, yeah, and usually, like with the Punisher, that run that just happened was fantastic. And they changed up a little bit, where he's like the death dealer for the Hand. He was like possessed by a demon and everything. But yeah, Jason Aaron, like all his runs, like some of the best stuff. Like his indie book, oh geez, I can't think of it right now. The one's Southern Bastards. If you ever get a chance to read Southern Bastards, it's really good.
Okay.
And, yeah, so pick up that. And I think that first trade is only $9 or $9.99, or even cheaper digital. It's about it's set in Alabama, where Jason Aaron is from, and
nice.
Back to town, and he's like a football coach, and it's all about like how the high school football is like best thing in that town, and then like some seedy stuff starts happening, and I don't want to spoil anything, but somebody dies, and someone's child comes to find out what happened. But Southern Bastards is very good.
Yeah, so there's 4 volumes out for that.
I think it only went to about maybe 40 issues, maybe 30. But I read the first 2 or 3 trades, and it was very, very good. If you like Jason Aaron and you like something like, I hate football, right? But the book was great.
No, I'll definitely check that out. Yeah, they got it in hardcover now too as well.
Oh,
So.
yeah. And some of them Image hardcovers, like I got the one Wayward and Paper Girls. They're very nice hardcovers. Then you get like issues and Saga, like issues 1 through like 30 in one hardcover. It's very nice. Oh, did you?
Nice.
I want to ask. Did you check out that Void Rivals book that was the hot item last week?
I did not.
So I did. I picked it up. I looked at it. The big thing was Image sneakily announcing that they now have the rights for Transformers and GI Joe, and that Josh Williamson is going to be writing the 2. It's like 2 GI Joe one shots about Duke and Cobra Commander, and that Robert Kirkman is like crafting this world because he's writing Void Rivals, and
Yeah.
through it, and like it didn't really look that interesting to me. But there's a Jetfire, the Transformers in it. And I'm like, oh, okay, so that sets up the new Transformers, and like it's one world that now Image is going to put out Transformers and GI Joe. It's like not like super,
that's
cool.
awesome though.
Yeah, and I think I might get the guy that did Do a Powerbomb. Darren Warren Johnson.
Was that Johnson?
Do a Powerbomb.
Powerbomb.
I get his name mixed up with Philip Kennedy or Philip Warren Kennedy. There's 2 guys have similar names, and I get them mixed up. But
yeah, Daniel Warren Johnson. Yeah,
Daniel Warren Johnson. Yes, he did Wonder Woman: Dead Earth as well, which was pretty good. Do Powerbomb, which was very good. He's doing the Transformers book. I think he's writing and drawing the Transformers book. I was like,
I need to read Do a Powerbomb. I know our pals over at Comic Book Lair really enjoyed that, and I believe Monk read it as well and really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to know anything about wrestling because it starts off with just pro wrestling, but then it kind of goes into like a little sci-fi, and well, actually a lot of sci-fi because
is this the one where he like wrestles God?
I think so. Yes, because in our planet, professional wrestling is pre-planned, and in other planets, when they leave Earth, professional wrestling is real. So they get there, and the girl and then her dad, when she finds out it's a dad, well, some spoilers, but they wrestle, and they're like trying to work a match, and like they're getting the shit beat out of them, and they're like, what's going on? Wrestling's real here, like. So it's kind of that cool thing, and it's like real over the top stuff, and the art is cool. He does the art and he writes the book, which he also did a Beta Ray Bill miniseries, which was really good.
I have that Beta Ray Bill series, and yes, that was an excellent run. Like, I don't know, Beta Ray Bill, out of like all the Thor side characters or fringe characters, whatever you want to call them, like Beta Ray Bill is just such an excellent character to play with, and I wish there was more just one shots or limited series of him, or even just an ongoing coming out.
Like, other than him being in the Thor book in the 90s, and then his first appearance in like 88, maybe something like that. Like,
yeah,
hardly any Beta Ray Bill. I think he was in the Guardians for a hot minute, like in the mid 2000s. Could be wrong, but I believe that series that you have and I have, that is the only Beta Ray Bill miniseries I think ever. I could be wrong. But like, he done much, and I like the character. He's so cool. He's so cool looking too.
Yeah, I think I bought like cover A and a variant for all of them as well, because I was just like, I gotta eat these things up. Like, this is Beta Ray Bill. Like, who knows what's gonna happen with these comics?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I would love to see more Beta Ray.
Yeah.
And like remember in Ragnarok when they get good grief, I'm blanking. Where's Jeff Goldblum's city? I'm completely blanking on it right now. And I think anybody knows what I'm talking about, but like, it has that statue of all like the fighters on it, and Beta Ray Bill's on like one of those characters on there.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing that, being like, is he gonna be in the movie? He never was, but
yeah. I thought for sure he would be at the end of Love and Thunder. I'm like, he has to be. He has to. And it's like, no.
Yeah. I don't know. I think as far as the MCU goes, they do need to be like they've kind of already gone through a lot of like their fringe characters, but I think they need to start empowering like more of them, but not so like rampantly.
Yeah, like introduce them slowly. Like,
Yeah,
like Beverly Bill, I think would be a hit, not just because we like him, but I think that'd be pretty cool. Plus, we've already had
it's a
4
car.
Oh, okay, there you go.
We got board bearded dad. Thank you, board bearded dad, for reminding us. Sakar, yeah.
Isn't that all Hulk's kid?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but oh, that's what I was gonna say. One thing I did like the end credit scene of Love and Thunder, because I really do like Hercules.
Oh yeah, I've not been real big on Hercules, but it was cool, and I'm like, okay, let's see where it goes. And in the Thor versus Hercules, that should be pretty cool.
And I really like that actor that they chose, because he plays Roy Kent in the Ted Lasso series.
Oh, I have not watched that, but
you should watch Ted Lasso. Like,
heard it.
were you ever a fan of Scrubs?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so it's like the same production company doing it.
Oh, okay.
And but yeah, so he plays a character named Roy Kent, but he's also one of the writers of the show. And he told a story on, maybe he was on like a late night show or a podcast talking about it, but like the more and more he like wrote the character before they cast it, he's like, I think I have to play this character.
I don't want to put myself in here, but I think I have to.
Yeah, but no, it's a great series, and he does a great job at that. And so when he showed up as Hercules, it's like, this guy's perfect for it. So I'm excited to see what the MCU does with that character going forward.
Yeah, and some of the movies now, like Secret Invasion's coming out, I think this week or next week, which I'm not too interested in. But like, obviously the Marvels.
Yeah, and Secret Invasion's supposed to be pretty like diverted from the actual series, and so I'm interested to see how they do that. I actually just finished rereading the series like a couple days ago, because I just wanted to like have a fresher mind on when like the show starts, to see like what did they take from it and what did they get rid of, because I highly doubt we're gonna see all of like the Avengers and all the actual superhero characters in this. I think this is just like a shield and sword.
That's what I was thinking. I think it's gonna be like a almost street level Marvel. Like, there's gonna be any crazy powers or anything that, like, other than scrolls. But
yeah,
it might. I'm not sold yet, but I'll probably check it out and watch it. But it doesn't like with like She-Hulk. I'm like, well, I love She-Hulk. I gotta watch this. And that's Secret Invasion. Like, when I get to it. You know?
Well, and then lastly, one thing I want to share is one of the trades that I recently just burned through, also by Jason Aaron, as we were talking about earlier. But I finally read Once Upon a Time at the End of the World.
Oh, I've never read that.
Yeah. So yeah, one of the pals over at the Comic Book Lair suggested that I read that, and so I picked up the trade when it came out. I really liked it. It's like post-apocalyptic world, and it kind of has some similarities to like What's the Furthest Place from Here, in the sense of like there's like kind of these groups of people, but there's a lot less.
Okay.
And one of my AirPods just died.
Time to wrap it up.
But yeah, so it's like this boy has been living by himself in this tower for a really long time, and this girl comes in and like defeats all of his booby traps, and it's kind of a story about them. But it gives, the main story is like the one that's unfolding of them meeting and like getting to know how to survive together. But then there's this whole other thing where like the boy, who's like this kind of like nerdy kid, he's an inventor, doesn't really have the survival skills that you need to be out in the wild. It fast forwards to like years later. That's all it says, is years later. And he's like an older man, but he's known as the greatest inventor in the world. And he's like kicking ass, essentially. And so it was a really fun read. I think volume 2 might also be coming out soon, or possibly already has. I'm not 100% certain on that, but I'm going to look into that, and I'm probably going to hop onto it wherever it's at.
I will check it out just solely because it's Jason Aaron. I have not read anything besides that Avengers one that was, which probably might not be useful. Everything else is great. So
yeah,
I will buy that sight unseen.
Cool. Well, Andy, you want to let the people know where they can find you?
Sure. So I know you guys post a lot on Instagram. On Instagram, just type in my name, which is right there, Andy Header. I will come up. I always share my pool lists and wrestling pictures and stuff like that. On Facebook, just search for my name. On Twitter, I am on there. I don't do a whole lot in there. I mainly just share wrestling stuff. But I do have a funny name, and it's at Get Some Header. Get it? I mean, oftentimes I talk to you guys on your Instagram account. So just chime in. Talk comics or wrestling or whatever you want to do. I am full. And this was pretty fun. I love talking comic books. So I had a fun time.
And that's what this is for. And then our buddy Eric, who I mentioned earlier in the episode, talking about what's Once Upon a Time at the End of the World. He says it feels like a post-apocalyptic Wes Anderson film. And so issue 6 just came out last week. So volume 2 is just starting.
Okay. I Jason Aaron, baby.
Yeah. But no, I do like Jason Aaron, but like he does have some stuff that just, I guess, misses, but he does just have a very creative like process and like because I do like how he tackles like Marvel and DC characters. I haven't always liked it, but like his Thor run was fantastic.
A+.
Yeah. Like I mean, that's like one of those series for me. Like I'm never letting go of it. Like this is stuff my kids are going to inherit from me. So
I Thor comics. It's really good.
Yeah.
Jane Foster's Thor. What? What's a Jane Foster?
Yeah. But yeah. Well, yeah, Andy, thank you for being on here, man. And filling in for Monk.
Line then that he says? The new
What's
one?
That?
When you close the show, should I say Monk's line since I'm filling in for him?
Oh, if you want to say, if you want to do it, let me get through the here we go. We got Bored Bearded Dad saying you guys seem super interesting. Sorry, I only caught the last 5. Bearded Dad, no worries, man. This will be up on YouTube, or you can listen to it all on Spotify. I guess I'll just do this run right now. But yeah, so you can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch to watch the video. You can listen to us wherever you listen to your podcasts. And we're we haven't been as active, but we're usually pretty active on Instagram. And Monk's been like pumping out like the TikToks and Reels and what are they called? YouTube Shorts.
Yeah, that's unknown to me, but I know he's doing a lot there.
And you can find us for most part on all the socials at the pullboxpals. You can find me at Matt_nerdy. And for the main pal who's not here, Monk, you can find him at that Monk guy. So yeah, everybody, thank you so much for joining in. And Andy, if you want to close out with Monk's line.
I haven't read comics like this in years.
Oh no, I wasn't prepared. Sorry, everyone.
That's comics, baby. There. Perfect. That was fun.
Oh.